Hello everyone, good morning. So I see that two of you, Sudipta and Vibha, have already joined. I'm just gonna wait over here until we get others. Some of the folks in your batch have told me that they are not gonna be able to attend today because they are traveling or they have some other things going on. So let's see how many of you are able to join in, and then we'll get started. So how are you both coming along with the previous assignments and the project especially? Because I haven't received the project proposals from both of you. Okay, great. So just be sure that no, it is an important part of the course, right? The capstone project itself, because no, irrespective of whatever I teach you guys, if you are not able to apply those things and come up with a project and complete it end to end, it you won't be able to apply those skills and techniques that you have learned, right? So assignments are good and that help because they have a predefined problem statement that you're trying to solve. But with projects, the bigger challenge is to come up with the problem itself, right? So please be sure that you spend some time in researching what are some important challenges that people are facing in the fields that I have mentioned in your project assignment. Okay. Let's wait another few seconds. We are already at the 11 a.m. mark, but we'll wait a few more seconds just to let someone else who is just trying to join in. Okay, so Piyush is over here as well. So Piyush, I was just talking to Vibha and Sudipto about the final project. So please be sure to submit in your proposals on time. And as I had mentioned last week, tomorrow we don't have a class, but instead I'll be giving you a test or no a revision. So we'll be doing the revision today, and then I'll be giving you a self-evaluation test, which won't be that difficult. But if you are not able to complete that, that it will be a good indication for you that no, you need to revise some concepts within this module, and maybe it's a good time to evaluate if you're ready to go ahead in the course. Okay, because from next week we'll be starting off with the third module, which is we'll be diving into making predictions. Till now the only thing that we have done is cleaning the data. We have been working on analyzing the data itself, using visually, like using visualizations and doing some initial descriptive statistics on it, but we haven't done any sort of prediction. So next week we'll be starting off with that. So I just want to make sure that before you move ahead, you are ready with that, with these two modules. And that self-evaluation test is again, just to make sure that you guys know, it is on your course page. So now it has been published on your course page. If you go over here, the self-evaluation test is right over here. So after our today's revision and test, this homework over here, you should complete it. And it's not that difficult. It's just that you need to make sure that all the concepts that we have covered in past few classes, you will be able to revise those things. Okay. So be sure to go over there and complete the self-evaluation. Tomorrow we won't be having a class, and I'll be expecting you guys to turn in all the assignments and everything that is remaining from the previous course classes. Okay. All right. So everyone with me until here, how did you feel about the last module that we did? Did you get a better insights on how do you go about processing and cleaning the data? Or was it difficult for you to do? No, was it easy or was it difficult? The last module that we did. So give me 1 second over here. It seems like Piyush is having a hard time listening to me. Are you guys able to listen to me properly? Okay. So just help me by messaging Piyush over there and telling him, because I don't have, unfortunately, I generally have two computers with me simultaneously. But if you could message over there to Piyush and just let him know that the voice is fine for you guys, and maybe it should be something related on his side, it will be helpful. Okay, great. So the other thing that I want to do today is, now you would see that if some of you noticed over here, I have an Indeed job posting open over here, and you might be thinking, is Mihir looking for a job now, or is he looking for a job for us? I'm not sure. But in our today's class, we'll be using no Indeed's data set. That obviously Indeed is not so generous enough to give it to us. We'll have to scrape it from Indeed, and we'll look for data science jobs in India, and we'll do some data analytics on it. Does that sound interesting to you guys? Are you ready to see what kind of jobs are available in data science, machine learning, and doing some data analytics on it? Okay, so let's get started. This is, as I said, this is a revision lecture as such. So a lot of things you'll be doing yourself, and then I'll be doing it after you. We already have covered all these concepts in class before, but it's a good exercise for us to also, get a sense of what is happening in the job market. Okay, so let's get over here. I want you guys to reach to this place over here. Go to indeed.co.in and reach to this search box over here. And once you are on this search box, let's search for data science over here. Okay, I'm going to search for data science, and I'm going to say find jobs. Okay, let me know once you are done. Okay, great. So this is the spot where we are gonna get our job listings from. So our goal today will be to scrape data from Indeed job search for a given keyword. So we'll not take 2, 3 keywords like data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. We'll put some keywords over here, and we'll get all the results that are, I mean, not all, but at least we want few thousand results to work with. And we'll also get the title of the job, the location, and maybe we could get the reviews as well, how many reviews for that company. And we'll take this summary, or this synopsis which is there in the first few lines of that job posting. And once we have that, maybe we can know, and there, you'll see that there are some job posts with some salary ranges as well, right? So in some job positions you don't have the salary mentioned, but in some they do have the salary mentioned over here. So our target today will be to scrape data from Indeed, and then once we have scraped it, what we would like to do is also analyze the data and get some trends upon where are most data science jobs located, what is the average salary, what is the minimum salary, what's the maximum salary, and those kind of things. Okay, all right, so let's get started. As you noticed over here, do you see some pattern in the URL? Once we get into a Python script, we need to access this search results over here. What pattern do you see in the URL? What are the query parameters that we are going to send, and what are the key value pairs? Now you should be familiar with these terms as when I'm talking about these things. What are the query parameters that we'll use to what is the URL, query parameters that we are going to use to put our keywords and the location. Do you see the URL over here? And what are the key value names that we are going to use to send the request to Indeed and get the results? So let me zoom. I'm not sure if I can zoom in over here. If I could, oh, wow, I could do this. Perks of being on a Mac. So today my Windows gave up on me for some reason, my Windows computer, and that's why I had to switch on a Mac, and that's a perk over here. Okay, so now I have zoomed in over here for you. Can you tell me what are the two query parameters that we are passing in the URL? Yeah, the Q and the L, the query, the search term will be in the data science, and the location is India, and that's why you have L as over there, right? So these are the two key values that we are going to put in. And I'm not sure if I'm getting the responses a little late over here, but I was expecting that you guys would immediately give me the answer. But anyways, so we have these two query parameters that we are going to pass in. Any notes on the number of results? Like if I want to go to the next page, can you try clicking on the next page and tell me, is it similar to the Yahoo Finance exercise in terms of how do we do the pagination? If I want to go get the results from the next page, what's the another query parameter that got added over there? The start number, right? If I put the start value, that will give me which page to start from. I mean, not which page, but which result number to start from. Okay, so let's get to our Python script and let's write a scraper over here to get all these job results. So what I'm going to do is let's go and open a new Sublime text file. Okay, I'm going to save it as, let me create a new folder over here. Say Indeed scraper, and let's save it as Indeed scraper.py. Okay. Let me know once you are ready. I'm going to import my requests package as usual, and the beautiful soup to parse my HTML as well. Okay, so I'm going to import all the packages that we usually use. Guys, are you hearing a lot of background noise over here? There is some maintenance work going on in the building. Okay, yeah, sorry for that. I tried asking those workers to not do their work right now, but they were like, no, they have to fix some plumbing issues in the building, in the office building over here. Okay. I hope it gets better. It doesn't get worse. Even though I'm sitting in a closed conference room, but it's still quite noisy over here. Okay, so I'm gonna import a few packages that we usually use. Okay, let me know once you guys are ready. I've imported the usual packages that we work with, the request to get the HTML response as usual, and then the beautiful soup object class over there to parse our HTML. Let me know once you are ready. Okay, so Sudipto is done. I'm gonna wait for Vibha and Piyush over there. Okay, great. So the first thing that I want to do is obviously send a get request to Indeed, right? As we have seen before, we need to send a get request, and this is the URL that we'll send a get request to, right? So this is our URL format. So if we do start equals to 0, this will be the first page of our results. So can you guys go ahead and do that? I'll wait over here. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to say step 1, send a get request to the URL, and that's weird. So Sudeep, what they might also have done is for some common query parameters, they might have some cached results, right? And that's why you are seeing the data science jobs in India is a pre-built result. So instead of that, you should do this, because you can then change the parameters like the location, the start, and those things. Okay. So let me paste this over here for you guys as well. In case others are getting similar thing. So this is the query that you should use, and it must be that you clicked on some other place, and or no, it's giving you some cached results from that page. Okay. Okay. So step 1, send a get request to the URL. So I'm going to say URL is this. This is my URL. Okay. And send a get request to this URL. Get the contents and parse it using beautiful soup. Okay, so can you guys go ahead and do it? I just want you to use the requests module, get the content from this URL, and then use the beautiful object to parse it. Okay, Sudhita, I'm just gonna wait over here for the folks as well, and be sure to send in your uh, programs privately to me on this chat over here. And you should send it to the name which has Mihir over there on the Zoom chat. Okay. And So these are the columns that I want in my data set. So if someone is ready to do it by yourself, feel free. So these are the columns that I want. We need to get these columns. I want the job title. I want the location, the salary. I also want if it is a sponsored or a organic listing, because there are some ads over there as well. And I want the summary, right? The brief text that appears after the job. So you can try it, but go ahead and at your pace and try it out by yourself. Hey Vibha, that is fine. If you as long as you are done, let me know if you are done. Uh, as long as you are able to do those things, just make sure that you know how to do it. If you're getting stuck, please let me know. Okay, so this is our URL. So let's send a GET request using our requests module. So I'm gonna say response from our requests module should be requests dot get, because we want to send a GET request to this page. This is the URL that we are trying to send it to, right? And once we do this, first let's see if we are getting if we are not getting a 404 or something like that. So if I do this, okay, so I'm getting a 200 response, which is good. Once I know that I'm getting some response, I can parse it using Beautiful Soup. So I can say my soup over here is equal to the Beautiful Soup object is Beautiful Soup, create a Beautiful Soup content from the response dot content, right? Because this content parameter, as we have seen before, has the HTML of that content. When we said just response, it is giving this status code. If I do content over here, that will give me the HTML text of that response, the HTML body of that response. Okay. So once we have that response.content, the other thing that we need to pass on to it is the parser, the type of parser that we need to use, right? There are some 2 or 3 built-in types, and by default it will use the HTML.parser. But just for the sake of to make it explicit, this is the default parser as well. But just let's say explicitly pass it. I'm going to say HTML.parser over here, and this will ensure that it will use the HTML parser, which is not the default Python parser. That is a different one, but the Beautiful Soup comes with the HTML parser as well. Okay, so this is response.content, and let's say print soup.prettify. That will let us know that know if we have got it correctly, right? So we are seeing that we are getting a Unicode decode error over here, which means that uh, it's just that we are not able to print it out properly over here because our print method will be only able to get the ASCII. Either we could do this, either we could say decode ASCII and ignore, right? Or let me also try this. So I think it is either encode or decode that should work over here. So we'll try both. Okay, so it should be encode. So as you see, now I've got the text over here. When I was trying to print it out, what I was seeing is, my print method over there could not print out the ASCII codec. Okay, and yeah, so the thing over here is depends upon the environment as well. Okay, honestly, if I would have the exact answer on why it is not doing something on my computer, it could be something different on our platforms as well, because you are using a Windows machine over here. I'm using a Mac version, so there is some slight variations over here. For me, if I would try to directly print out without decoding the ASCII, it won't work over here, but the same thing works on the Windows machine. Okay, so that's the difference over here in our runtime environments. Okay, so this is not working because it is trying to decode the Unicode character over here, whereas by default it is trying to treat it as ASCII characters. So we are getting the soup object over here with all the elements that we need. Okay, so seems like we are getting and we are parsing it properly. So the next thing that we need to do is we are going to create a pandas data frame so that it is easier for us to work with, and we'll collect all the things that we need in that pandas data frame. Okay, so let me just create a empty data frame over here. I'm going to say data frame is equal to pd.dataframe class. Okay, till now we have already most of the times we have just used the read underscore CSV method, but we can always create an empty data frame as well. And these are the columns that I want in my data frame. So I need the job title. Okay, so I'm going to say title. Then I need the location. I need the company, right, which is offering this. So if it is a data analyst at TCS, then I want the name of the TCS company as well. The salary, if it is a sponsored ad, if it is a sponsored ad or an organic result, I want that, and a brief summary of that job post. Okay, so these are the columns that I need over here. Once I have that, now I can start adding elements, and now I can start collecting results in this over here. Okay, so what I want you to do is, can you find out how will you get to this one element of one job post? Okay, so because if we can do it for one job element, we can do it for multiple search results as well, right? So if we can do it for this one block, one card over here, we can do it for multiple jobs. So can you see how will you go about finding this one element over here? Yeah, div in the class name. So can you go ahead and write it out? Can you go and write the beautiful soup method over here. So what should I write to find this div and the class to get one card over here? So Sudipto, go ahead and try out different things. It might not work the first time that you put it, and also let me know what method name are you using, what parameters are you passing in. So guys, our objective over here, to reiterate, is to get all these jobs, right? If we can get one job, we can do it. We can put it inside a for loop and get all the jobs. So my question to you is, what should I write over here? If I want to say this one job over here, this job is equal to, what should I write over here? Soup. I know that it is, everything is inside my soup, right? This soup object, soup dot what? So what should I write over here? So Sudeep, try and look at the documentation of find all and the attributes that you're passing in. So does it look exactly at all the class names that you pass in the way you are expecting it? Does it try to exactly search that, or it will search for? So try to look at the documentation and that should give you some hint of the beautiful soup dot find all. So yes, Piyush, that should work. That should give us the first title over here, right? But what I'm trying to get over here is this entire block and not just the title. Okay, so let's say if I'm no the way look at the way I'm navigating through this element over here. So let me start from the start over here. So if I'm on this page, let's say I click somewhere on this card. I want this one entire box, okay, which has all the elements inside it. So I click over here, I get to this location. So I don't want just the location, I want this entire box. So I'm going up, up, and finally reaching this point, which seems to have this entire box covered. Now this will have everything inside it, right? The job title, the location, and everything. If I go one step even up, then I get lost somewhere. Now I'm just going out of there. So, okay, so this seems to be the correct div that I'm looking for. So can you write something over here? So what will you do for each job? I want to get this div. Can you get this entire div for me? I want this entire div in the job element over there. In this job variable, I want this entire div to be present. Can we do that? And again, there are so many different ways of doing it. And what you need to think about is, what are the attributes over here which most likely will stay the same, irrespective of, the it won't be dynamic, right? So you want things that stay static so that you don't have to change your code every time. Okay. So try to look through this thing and try to come up with a query which is minimal as such, which is not so complicated, and it will be like logical thinking. Again, it's there is no right answer to this every time. So try to look for things which are not, so I could do it on this data tu thing, right? But this looks like a URL link. So what is the guarantee that this random URL is going to stay same on this page? Can we find something on this div which will guarantee that every time I find this beautiful soup object, there will be this element which is always present? Yeah, so in many cases, if you get the ID of that element, so if you get an ID of a div, it is very less likely that it is going to dynamically change. Class may be the second option because a lot of times classes do change. But in this case, I think we don't have an ID of the div which is explicitly defined. Oh, there is one over here. Right, so we have the ID of that div as well. But you also need to make sure that this ID is not dynamically created as well. So if you think that this ID might be dynamically coming over here, that might not be a good option. But if you think, if let's say if there is a static ID, but what you're going to see in most cases over here, let's say if no, this is a job search div. Do you think that the ID of all the job search divs will remain the same? Because every time no, they will be obviously different. So eventually our goal is to get all the divs, right? We just don't want just this one particular div. So in that case, the ID won't work. If you are trying to get just one element, then ID is a great option. But eventually when we try to get everything over here, the IDs are random numbers over there, right? These are randomly generated. And let me know what you guys are trying out as well. So if we iterate over the TD block over here, let me just find where is the TD over here. So this is our entire row and this TD. So this TD is not for each job element, right? This is for this entire job search column. So I'm not sure how will you go about finding individual elements again. Again, you will have to do something. If you, we want something which will repeat consistently. This TD is not repeating. This is the same for this entire column. So if we get to this box over here, this div is repeating several times. Right, so if you look at this pattern over here, if I do this, so this is repeating several times, right? So this div is repeating several times, this pattern. And Sudeep, your initial approach, what you tried was correct. There was nothing wrong in that. It's just that your beautiful soup might not be able to uh, match all the class elements which are present over there. So rather than matching on all class elements, can you just try out with one class elements like a row or a result, something like that? That's weird. Okay, let's try it out. So I think all of you know by now is that we need to use the find or find all method over here. Okay, I could start off with find, and then once I find it, we could do it for find all as well. So let's start off with the find first. So I'm gonna say find over here. Let's try to find this. I'm gonna find for soup.find. I want to find a div, right? I want to find a div. And I'm gonna say attributes equals to, I want the class over here as, let's see if I go with just one result over here, right? So this one result, I want this result to be This is the first result, right? So let's see if I do this, and let's see what do we get. And if I say job.text, let's just print out the job itself. Let's see if we are able to get this. I'm missing out something over here. Oops. Okay. So for some reason, we can't find the job element over here. So guys, can you try it out? We are trying to get to this. That's weird because now I'm not getting it. I was getting it when I was doing it before the class. So now for me, I'm not able to get this class as a result. Let's see again. Let's try it again. So I'm going to say instead of attributes, we don't need this. Let's try with find all if it works for me with find all. Let's see if I do this. Okay, so seems like we got something, and that's why it's just giving me an ASCII decode error now. So let's say if I do this job.text.encode ASCII, ignore. I need to do this first. Okay, so seems like I'm getting it now. For some reason, when I was doing the find, it didn't work for me. And now when I'm doing find all, I'm getting it. Or is it this thing which was making the it different? Okay, so yeah, as Sudipto had pointed out, I was passing the wrong parameter name. Now this was attributes, right? So if I say attributes over here, and then this should work. So we were able to get one job element, so which has everything that we need. Now it is not clean and not so easy for us to figure out over here. Okay, so don't worry about it. But it seems like we are getting something inside the job text. Okay. So are you guys over here? Let me know once you have reached to this point. We'll move ahead with finding all the job elements. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I took the class name from there, which was the result class, right? So if you look over here, this block is repeating several times, right? So because we know that this block is repeating several times, I want to find something from this thing that I can search for. Okay. So it looked to me that I could either use the row or the result. So I selected the result because each of this is a result, right? So I'm saying find one result and give it to me. So as I said over there, I think when you put multiple elements over here, it will try to match all of those classes. So I'm not sure if you try to add all of those together, is it an or element that they use, or the and, right? So if you search for result and row, will it search for a class which has both results and row? It is mentioned in the documentation over there, but just double sure that it is the same way that you expect. Okay. And again, we are trying to get to something which works irrespective of where you access it. So let's say if the client is different, maybe if you are trying to do it on a US page now, right? So are you sure that all of those things don't change in terms of, I mean, what I mean by that is, let's say if this is indeed.com, right? So does that thing stay same on indeed.com as well? We are not sure, right? This is working on indeed.co.in. So you want to pick something which is least and not go for the exact thing. And what if tomorrow, if this change something over here, right? Even if one changes, then your page is gonna fail, on your script is gonna fail. You want to select something which you think that will not change in this, on this page. Does that make sense? Okay, so guys, everyone over here, so instead of finding just one job, what we could also say is all jobs over here. So if I say all jobs, I can say find all over here, and this will find all divs with attribute who have class as a result over here. Okay, so if I do this now I could say for a job in all jobs. Now we can iterate through all these jobs, and I want you to find the title now for each job. So can you go ahead and do that? I want you to find in over here, what will you write? If I want to print out the title, I want to print the title over here of each job. Can you find the title element within each class over here? So I think Piyush, you were doing that before. So what should I write over here? Print what? So if I say title over here is equal to job dot find, what should I write? Yeah, go ahead and do that and see, print it out if you're getting all the titles. And be sure what is the class name over here. So if I click over here, if I say inspect element and I look for all the classes over here, and so this is the class for this element over here. So do you see title or the job title? I hope again you can see this. This is really cool over here. Yeah, the job title, right? So use the correct class names. Hey Vibha, how are you coming along? Are you following? Okay, great. So we need to print out the title for each job. So what should we write over here? We already done this before in the past. So I'm going to say, I want to find a div, right? I want to find a div. Now you could either write this attributes class equals to, or you could also say underscore class equals to. Okay, it's the same thing. I can say underscore class equals to, I saw that the class name was job title. So I'm going to say job title over here. Okay. And if I do a text over here, this will give me the text of that element. Okay. And let's say if I say print title, what do I get? I hopefully don't have to decode the ASCII over here. So we don't have this now. Okay, so seems like we can't find this. Sorry, this is class underscore. Okay, so this is much better. I can deal with this Unicode decode error. So the reason is I was using a div element, but this is a element. It is a link over here. So I should have said a over here, right? So if I would have said this would have worked, right? This error over here it's a stupid Unicode decode error. So I'm not worried about that, right? As long as I am reaching this place over here. So it's just not able to print that thing out on my screen. Okay, so now you see that I have all the titles on from my job posts. So Sudipta, I'm not sure which one are you looking at. So this class is title. Yes, that is correct. But I'm trying to get to this text of the senior software engineer trading and analytics, right? So within this text, this class name over here, this A, the anchor element over here has a class of job title. Does that make sense? And that's why we are using job title. Okay. The thing that I was doing was I was putting a div over here. That's why it was giving me some problems. Okay, so if you do a div over here, and if you put, then you should put not the job title, then you should put a title. If you put a title, and then let's see what do we get. Now, if we do this, then we still can get it. But you need to use the right combination over here, right? If we need an A over here, then look for that class of that A element. Right. So if you're using div, then use the title. If you're using A like the way I was doing, then use job title. Okay, everyone over here, everyone got the names of the jobs. Okay, so one thing that you would notice over here is we have a /n character at the beginning of each job title. We don't want that. Let's try to find, can you replace it with an empty string? I don't want these /n characters at the beginning of each job title over there. Can we do it? Are you getting a different text output over here? Yeah, so I'm getting some X blank spaces over here as well. So are you getting so aren't you getting a slash n over here? Okay, that's good. Vibha and Piyush, are you getting the slash n like the way I'm doing? So I'm getting a slash n character before each of my job titles. I want to get rid of it. Are you getting that as well, or you just see the name of the position and nothing else? Hmm, that's weird. Okay, so we'll see. What we could do is now take care of those things in the data cleaning phase as well. But for now, I know that I don't like this, so I'm gonna remove this thing over here. So I'm gonna use a replace over here and replace my slash n character over here, the new line character, with an empty string. Let's print it out again and let's see what am I getting. Okay, so seems like I have got it. The I would want to get away with these blank spaces as well. So let's see if I can do. I'm not sure what character this is. Is it just because of the ASCII ignore thing that I'm putting over here? Right. So if I do, maybe I would have to use a regular expression over there to replace these any number of blank spaces over here, because if I do just a strip, let's see if I do a strip. Okay, so that gets rid of the any number of blank spaces before my string over here. Okay, so this is little bit more cleaner now. So Surito is giving me one another way on how to replace the number of blank spaces, right? So generally, if you are trying to get rid of any character, right? So what you are trying to match over here, your strip method will take care of any number of tabs and blank spaces. Okay, so if you're using that replace method over there, so Vibha, are you getting the same thing? Are you facing any challenges?
Sure, sure, I'm getting different.
So guys, make sure that you are also muted over here. So I'm just gonna mute you over here and let me know if you are getting the same thing. So Vibha, what are you seeing over there? And again, all of these things will differ based on your location as well. So as long as you're seeing these positions, that is fine. Indeed might return different answers for you. So as long as you're seeing these job positions, it should be fine. And let me know what problems are you facing. Are you getting something printed out at least, or what are you printing? What are you getting? And try to make sure that you are not making any silly mistakes over here and using the correct the job title class, the A over here, and those things. Okay, that is fine. Just you can follow up with the recorded version as well. So guys, Piyush and Sudipto, how are you coming along? Are you getting all the job titles printed over there for you? Are you facing any issues as well? So Sudipto is all good. How about you, Piyush? Okay, great. Right. So we can find all the other attributes as well. But before we do that, let's just append this title to our data frame. So what I'm going to say over here, data frame is equals to data frame dot append. Okay, I'm going to use the append method over here to append my job title that I just found. So I'm going to say title is equal to the title. Okay, and other stuff I don't think we need it right now. Let's see if it works without having everything else over here. And I'm going to say print df.shape to know how many elements have we collected so far. Yeah, so df.append will no, it won't replace it in place, and that's why I'm assigning it back to df. It will return the new data frame. So over here, if I do print df.shape, I'm saying got these many results. Okay. And then finally, let's get our df.tocsv. This will put our data frame to a CSV file. I want to say, because I'm searching for this keyword over here, data science, I'm going to say data science.csv. I don't want the index to be recreated, so I'm going to say index equals to false. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so I should say over here ignore index equals to true. Ignore underscore index equals to true. So can only append a series if ignore index equals to true. Okay. Okay, so now it seems like I have got all of my stuff, all of my results over here in my data science.csv file. So if I go over here and if I go to the folder where we are working in, so I have the CSV file created, as you see, with all the job titles over there. Right, so I have my all my titles, job titles in my data frame over here. Now, only thing we need to do is get the location, company, salary, and summary as well. So I'm gonna wait over here and let you guys figure out how to get the other elements as well. Okay. So I've done it for job title for you. Now I want the other elements as well. So title, location, company, salary, sponsored, all those things. I'm going to wait over here for a few minutes and then I'm going to write those things for you. So go ahead and try it out. Yeah, that is true. With Pandas data frame, now every time you perform an operation, you need to be aware that it won't do it in place. It will always return a new data frame on any operation, most operations that you would do, unless you explicitly say that in place equals to true, right? If there is an option and you say that if in place is equals to true, then only it will do it in place. Otherwise, most of the times I've seen that it will return a new data frame. So what you're seeing over there, Sudipto, is that you're not able to get to the location element over there. So try out different things. These things are a standard when you do web scraping. A lot of these are sporadic things. Yeah, I think it's the similar problem that you were having for your Yahoo Finance thing as well, right? It was failing at random location, and these things are platform dependent as well, because if I go and do the same thing, I won't see that error. So it is tricky for me to troubleshoot why it is happening on your environment. And are you looking for a span over there? You're looking for a div, it seems. So if I go over here and if I search this guy, okay, so it is in a div. Okay, so let me try it out over here. So I'm gonna say, and hey Sudipto, so what you also need to be sure is not every time all of these will have all the values that you need. Okay, so all these are optional fields, so it is no guarantee that you will have those things. So what you should rather do is, what I would do over here, okay, so title maybe yes, but maybe we should do it for all the fields. So what we are going to do is we are going to do our best to get that element from that job post. So I'm going to do a try over here and accept even if those things are missing. Okay, because not every time each job has a salary, not every time each job has a location, right? So I'm just going to try to get to this and we'll see how many results do we get. And we could also do this, and we can say, rather than just saying pass, I'm going to say title as none over here, so that in my pandas data frame I could work with those things when I'm cleaning it. Okay, so let's do it for other fields as well. So I'm going to say again, try for the location, which is equals to job dot find. I can just say class equals to location over here dot text, and then I'm going to say accept location as none. Okay, let me see if I do this over here, what am I getting? Okay, so seems like I'm getting Bengaluru, Karnataka over here. So looks good to me right now. Let me also add it to our data frame. I'm gonna say location is equal to the location element that we just created. So guys, are you following? This is a little repetitive now. I'm gonna go ahead and do it for all the other elements as well. I'm gonna do it for title, the salary, and those things. So Sudeep, though, you need to understand that this is a dynamically generated page, right? Depends upon the client that you're trying to search from. It may be that your Chrome has your it might be accessing your location, right? That could be one thing. It might be checking your browser type. When you search from a phone, it's different. The client type from your no, over here, when you do it from Python, you will have a different client name in your request header, and based on it, it will give you different things. Okay, so see if no when you go print out the actual divs as well and see if they're indeed in the job they don't have a location mentioned. I don't see that there should be those many jobs with no location. So there is definitely something going wrong over there for you. So try it out and see if try to print out that job element over here. Whenever you go inside the except block over here, go ahead and try to print it out and you check if you indeed don't have anything over there. Okay. So what I would do is if I'm getting a lot of nuns over here, I would print this job out, right? So print this job and see what are you getting in that element. So Piyush, are you getting it, following it as well? I'm just gonna go ahead and do some repetitive tasks over here. We are gonna do it for other fields as well. Should I go ahead and do it? Are you both okay with it now? Are you getting what are we trying to do? Okay, great. So I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat this same stuff for all other fields as well. So let me put it over here and then so I added three things over here. So I want location, then let me get the company name. So I'm gonna say company, and this company, you would see that the class over there is company itself. So I'm gonna say company over here, not text. I don't want this print statement now. I don't want any of these print statements. Then let's find the salary as well. So Surita, just give me 1 second over here. Let me complete this. So I'm gonna say salary. And guys, where are we getting this? We should get it from all these elements. When you inspect it, you should get all of these things over from there, right? So if this is the salary which is given, right? So if you inspect it over here, you see a span with the class salary, right? So we need to make sure that we have a span. I mean, if you don't add the name of the element explicitly, it will just try to find wherever it finds salary. Okay, so if you do salary and then also do the sponsored, right? So if it is sponsored or not. So if I say sponsored, the class over here is sponsored gray. Okay, so if we go over here, if we look at the sponsored elements over here, right? So this is sponsored. So you see that this class over here is sponsored gray. For some reason, it also has a space behind it, but I think this should work. Okay, so sponsored gray. Text. What I could say, if you actually try to find this, if you have this, then actually do sponsored equals to sponsored. Else we could say sponsored equals to this. This is an organic result, right? So try to find this element. If you don't find it, then this is an organic search element. Now this is salary is none. This company is none. Location is none. So company, salary, sponsored. Okay, so seems like this is correct. I'm just gonna add all of those things over here as well. So company is company, small company. The salary is the small salary. And can I do this? Sponsored is the small sponsored variable name. Let's see if we can run this. Okay, so seems like it worked. Let's see what do we have in the Excel sheet. Okay, so I'm gonna close it and open it again. Okay, so something is wrong with the company over here. I'm getting the location properly. I'm getting the there's something wrong with the salary as well, it seems, right? I think I know what this thing is. This is just an Excel issue. Okay, so Excel is not able to read it. If we go inside the, I think we know what that is. So over here, I think we are just missing out the company. Let's see what's going on with the company. So company over here, job.find class as company. So this thing is not working, it seems. Okay, let's read it in the pandas data frame and let's see if it shows up over there. It should show up, but for some reason it's not doing for me. Let's see. If I do an inspect element over here, I can't find the company. So I need an A. So I'm trying to get to the span over here. Instead of that, what if I do this company name or maybe turnstile link? No, I don't want that. So this should work. If I do a span and try to find the text inside it. So guys, do you see some errors in my code over here? For some reason, I'm not getting company over here. So I have company over here and then we are getting this. It is just that. So is it data frame issue? I'm not sure. So let's see if I print company over here, what do I get? If I print company, am I getting the company over here? Okay, so seems like we are getting an error in at this point itself because we are never printing this thing out, right? So we are getting an error when we run this statement. So let's see if I do this now. Nope, we are not able to find this. Okay, so now I'm getting company. So if I say company.text, okay, so I'm getting a company.text as well. It seems like there are some blank line characters. If I say replace slash n with an empty space, now what do I get? Okay, so I should do this now. Okay, so I'm getting the company name properly over here. If I'm getting the company name over here now, I should get it in my Excel sheet as well, if everything else is proper, right? So let's try it again. Let's close this. And it seems like we got the company now. So, yep, for some reason we were getting some problems now, but now I do have the company names. The salary names, as you see over here, sometimes you are getting none because it is not there in the search results, but sometimes you are seeing a blank space. Now that is just an Excel issue. It's not that we don't have it. As you would see, as soon as I print it out on a data frame, you will see some values over here. Okay. So let me know once you guys are ready. What I could also do is also give you this file over here. So let me know once you are ready over here and have these many results on your file. So Sudipta, you just have some weird ASCII characters going on no, that you need to strip off. And we can take care of those things in the no, we can get rid of those things in the data cleaning stage. Right now with your scraping, if you don't want to worry a lot about them, we can take care of them in pandas later. So we obviously don't want to keep it that way. Otherwise we won't be able to do any sort of analytics on it, right? If we want to make sense of those numbers, we need to convert them to integers and floats. Only then we'll be able to do some descriptive analytics on it. So we'll have to clean that up. So Piyush, what I'm going to do now is wait over here and don't worry about if you're not getting some of the columns, because we might just fall in short on time. As long as you understood the concept, let's create a data set and then I'll give the data set to you. Okay. So right now we are just doing it for just one page. Okay. We need to do it for all pages. So let's do it for all pages. As you see over here in the URL itself, you have the start as 0. Now we need to, if we put a start of 10 over here, it will get it from the 10th location. Okay. So the way you should increment this is in the order of tens, because approximately you would get about 12 to 13 every time. We don't know how many results are we going to get. Okay. So for me, it's 16 over here. For you, it might be a little different. But the way the pagination works, if you go over here and if you click over here, click on the second page over here. If you want the results on the second page, you should say start equals to 10, right? So that's how Indeed is doing it. So let's do it as well. So what I'm going to do is add another for loop over here. And so I'm going to say for start in range 0 to, let's say, 500. I want 500 results, 50 results in increments of 10, right? So start will be 0, 10, so on until 500. So we'll do it 50 times. So we'll try to get the results from first 50 page. I'm going to put this entire thing inside this for loop. Okay, so here's what I did. Start is this. Now note that we'll have to do all of these things again as well. Okay, so we'll have to, I'm going to take all this stuff, and I don't need the data frame. Actually, let's do this. So what I'm going to do is put this data frame on the top. Okay, this is the same. Now I don't want this for loop over here. Actually, I want this for loop over here. Okay, so right on the top. Now all of this thing should go inside this for loop as well. Okay, so the for loop is right on the top. The URL needs to have start equals to, I will add the start variable over here, right? So the start will be 0, 10, 20, and so on. It will go on until 500. Then we'll do the responses html.url.get, all jobs, everything else should be same. Okay, and let me get this print statement actually not inside this for loop but outside this for loop. Okay, so after we are done with one page, I'll print out the data frame dot shape. Let's see if this works. Okay, so as you see over here, the number of rows is increasing in our data frame, right? So now I'm getting 96, 112. And we're going to collect these results in our CSV file. So guys, are you getting it? How did we go about collecting these results? Now I've got 784 rows over here from the first 50 pages of the search term data science from location India. Did you guys get it? So if you don't have all of these things in your code right now, I'll send over the code to you. It will be always visible on your course page. So don't worry about that. Just let me know if you got the concepts right over here and you get the approach that I took. I did it for one page first, and I did it for one job, and then I did it for put a for loop, and then I did it for all the jobs. Does that make sense? Okay, so what I'm going to do over here is as a next step, I will give you some data files that I prepared yesterday. So if you don't have this data CS, so as you would see now, I have this data science.csv file for all the jobs, right? And this has about 784 jobs over here, 785 jobs. That is great. But yesterday I had collected data for other query terms as well. So let me give those files to you. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to give you these CSV files that were collected yesterday. So data science, data analyst, AI, and machine learning. So for these 4 search terms, I'm going to compress and send it to you. Datasets.zip, and let me just upload it to the drive. So I was hoping that you would work with your own data sets, but I don't think that we have time right now to do it for all the 4 search terms. It's a repetitive task over there. So I'm just going to give the CSV files to you. Okay. Okay, hopefully it doesn't take that much time. Yes, it is quick. And share it. Okay, so go ahead and download the zip file. That should have the 4 CSV files. So we'll do some analytics on top of it. So let me put that in my folder as well. So I can go over here, and if I paste it over here. So what I did was I showed you how to collect one file, and this data sets has the files for these 4 search terms over here. Okay. Yeah, we'll use Jupyter notebooks so that it's much easier for us to clean it and do it in steps. Right, so let's create a blank Jupyter notebook over here. So what I could do over here is I can just say Jupyter notebook. So first, let me know once you have downloaded it. Are you guys ready with it? Have you downloaded these data sets and put it in a folder over here where you were working in? So I just wanted to show you how did we go about collecting the data set itself. Okay, great. So once you have your data sets done, open a Jupyter notebook. So I'm going to say Jupyter notebook over here. And that will open a Jupyter notebook, create a new server for me over here. Okay, now let me go to the document, the location where my files are. So I'm going to go over here. Okay, so this is where all my data sets are. Reach to this place and let me know that you are in this folder on your Jupyter notebook. Let me create a new Jupyter notebook over here. I'm going to say new Python 3 notebook. Okay, and let's say indeed data science job analysis. let me know once you are over here, okay? So two things that you want to check is you are in the same folder where your data sets are. So you have a folder over here which says data sets, right? So in this folder, you have created the same notebook by saying new Jupyter notebook over here, new Python 3 notebook. Okay. Let me know once you are over here. You have done these two things. You have the data sets over here and you have created this blank Jupyter notebook. So both of you are over here. Okay, great. All right. So once we have done this, let's create, as usual, let's read that CSV files, those CSV files in our programs. I'm going to say import pandas as PD. All of these things, you should be familiar with it now. So we have 4 data frames over there. So I'm going to read them separately. I'm going to say def1 is equals to pd dot read underscore CSV. Let's read our file. It is located, for me, it is in datasets folder. So I'm going to say datasets slash data analyst .csv, and I know that the encoding for these files should be UTF-8, right? Because there are some UTF-8 characters that Sudipto and I were seeing that weird characters getting printed, and for me it was failing itself, right? So I'm gonna read it as a UTF-8 data frame. Okay, let's see if I'm getting it. If I say df1.head, what am I getting? Okay, so seems like it is working. We are able to read the data analyst CSV files. Let's do it for all others as well. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna copy paste and read all other CSV files. I'm gonna read the other one, which is machine learning. So I hope you understand what these file names are. These are the search terms that I use to search, right? So this is data science over here, right? So similarly, I have it for data science, data analyst, machine learning, AI. So for 4 different search terms, I have 4 different files. Okay. If I say df1.shape or df2.shape, okay, so there are 752 rows seems, 749 and 784 as well. Okay, so seems like we have equal number of results in each of these data frames. Let me know once you have done this. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to combine all these data frames into one big data frame. Okay, I want you to combine all the rows from these data frames. Can you go ahead and do that? So combine all the rows from these data frames into one big data frame. Yep. So Sudipto, we might also have some duplicates in over there. So check for any duplicates and remove those as well. And you could also concat them one by one in just one statement itself. So Piyush, I haven't tried that method out. So can you print it out and see how many what's the shape of your result? So as both of you are doing over there, that you are using the concat method. So I'm going to say df equals to, because as I said before, it will always return a new data frame. So I'm going to say pd.concat over here. And let's say if I give the multiple data frames, let's see if it works. If I say df1, df2, df3, and df4, and I want to concatenate these things row wise, so I'm going to say axis as 0. So that is row wise operation, and by default I think axis is 0 as well. And then you could say first let's print it out and see if we are able to, how much data are we getting over here. So about 3000 rows, right? But a lot of it will be some duplicates as well, because whether you search data analyst or whether you search AI, you might get the same results, right? So if you do this, let's say drop duplicates, so we are getting about 1590 results over here. So Sudipto, have you checked the parameter documentation on what does that mean, verify integrity? So are you trying the verify integrity over here in the concat method? Yeah, because it might have duplicate indexes over there. And it will have, because by default, we haven't set the index over here. So by default, the index will be 0, 1, 2, and so on. So for all these things. So we have about 1590 unique rows from our data set with 6 attributes that we can skim through. Let me also do a df.shape head over here so that it is easier. So here's the data that we are going to work with. We have the data analyst titles over here, the data analyst quality programs, and so on. And hopefully if we do a tail over here, we should get I just want to make sure that we just don't have data analysts, right? I think initially we have all the data analysts, but afterwards we should have the others as well. So now we are getting data scientists as well, okay? So guys, tried it out. Have you added all your data frames together and dropped your duplicates? Check the data set now. So Sudipta, but are you getting some results? These things are dynamic, but are you getting these rows? Yeah, so that is fine. And I'm not sure if these things are dynamic because if you are using the same CSV file, it should be the same. I meant when we are scraping from Indeed, it was different. Yeah, if we get it from the same CSV file, it should be the same. Just make sure that I'm doing a tail over here and not a head. If I do a head over here, it should do this. Hmm. That is weird. So we might have to look at the documentation of the concat over here because data frame will obviously read it in sequence. Uh, my best guess over here is the drop duplicates method on how it functions in terms of the way for the place where it drops the location from that might be different. But besides that, I don't see a place in the code because hardly we have written any code over here, right? Okay, so if you have the AI first, then obviously you will have a different data set. Okay, all right. So I hope you guys are over here now. So let's do some simple things. Can you point out the company names which have the highest number of jobs in this data set? And all of these things should be relevant to you as well. It will give you some good insights into which companies that you should target, what are the locations that you need to search for, right? So first, can you go ahead and see which company names have the highest number of job listings in this data set? So do some operations on this first column over here and give me the counts of companies with highest number of job listings. And all of this is not any historic data. It was scraped yesterday. So something that you might be interested in. And my bad over there. I wanted to get the company name, right? So this is the job positions over here. I want you to find which companies have the highest. So maybe just change a single line of your code over there. I want you to find companies with the highest number of jobs. You should see a count next to each company. So maybe you should say Target has 5 jobs. This company has 10 jobs. This company has 3 jobs and so on. Okay. Right, so what we can do over here, I think we have already done this before, but if we group by this company name, it will be easier for us to get the counts then. So we're just gonna say counts is equal to df dot group by. Once we do a group by over here, let's give it the column by which we need to group by. So we could say location over here, and then we'll say count, right? So if we do a count, let's say if I do a print counts over here, okay. So seems like we are getting the counts of everything over here, right? We just need the maybe the worst column over here, right? So we can just take any one over there. And I can just say counts like this, so it's easier. Okay, so not the location first, the company. So we are getting the counts. The only thing that I should do over here is also sort these values, right? So I can say sort values. Yep. Now we are getting all the companies with the number of postings that they have in this data set. So seems like this company over here has 45 job listings, which is a big number, right? So maybe check it out if they really have 45 listings, or are there any duplicates that have accidentally slipped in. Let me also create a bar plot out of this pretty quickly. So what we could say over here is, first let's just take the first maybe 20 companies, right? So I just need the first 20 companies, and let me just plot a bar plot over here. I can say plot a bar. Let me give a fixed size of, let's say, 20 comma 5. Okay. So yeah, also plotted out a visual. It seems like this company over here has 50%, 100% more job postings than the rest of the second, third, fourth places, right? So Accenture has about 20 postings, but this company has about 40 job postings, which might be an error in the data set as well, because it seems unusual. We haven't even heard of this company. So make sure you look at the data set and see if they really have 40 different postings for, and if it is there, maybe it's time to apply over there. So you need to make sure that this thing, what you are getting is a data frame, only on the data frame. So not just because of the inline thing, Sudipto, you need to make sure that what you are getting over here should be a data frame. If you're getting a series, then there might be something wrong going on. Try to do this as well. If you say ignore index equals to true, so I think it's not sure of the parameter name, but we want to ignore the index over there. So Yeah, it's reset index. So if you do this, if you try to do a reset index after you do a count and see what happens. Yep. So if you do a reset index, it might work. So you're getting a key error called as bar. That's weird. So can you try plot bar method of the data frame? So pandas data frame. First check if you are getting a data frame object over there. So first check the type of the object. If you have a data frame object, now let's look at the plot bar method. So it has plot dot bar. So can you try this now? Instead of saying plot and then type equals to bar like the way I'm doing, you could also say data frame dot plot dot bar. Okay, great. Yeah, you could do that as well. But I'm not sure if that was the issue, Sudeepto over here, in terms of just because of the matplotlib inline. If you use it and it works, let me know. So when you did plot dot bar or just the plot? So if you give the labels over here, x equals to, so this is gonna give you the legend over here, right? So if you say lab is ABC, so try to give these named parameters and see what happens then. So if you give these named parameters, are you getting the labels then? So this should be your title of the, it should be the title over here, right? The company names that we want. So it should be data frame of company. So try that. So just like this example over here. We don't have the Y value over here. So I'm still getting it. So what did you use? Yeah, I haven't done anything specific to get those colors. I thought that it always worked on my Mac like this. So are you getting different? Yeah, are you getting everything with the same color there? That's weird. I mean, you could obviously define a default palette over there as well. So if you go over here, there should be an option to set the color palette. So additional keyword arguments are documented over here, dot plot, and over here there should be some color palette option. So this is the color map, right? So this color map, if you set to something, it should give you different colors. Okay. Okay. So even though we are done with now the class over here, I think we are already at the 1 p.m. mark. Let me just tell you a few things that you could try out with this data set over here. Okay. And let me know in the WhatsApp chat and share it with others with know what we did today, so that those who haven't attended, they should know as well. So share it with others. What is the average salary? Okay, so what you might want to do is, because there are a lot of nuns, so first you will have to split this salary into two columns with minimum salary and maximum salary. Okay, then you will also take into account if this is a monthly salary or a yearly salary. Once you have those two separate columns which have filtered the minimum salary, maximum salary, then you could do your, just like we could do over here, you could sort those values and do a min max whatever you want, right? So you could create a mean of that column and find out what is the minimum salary, what is the maximum salary, and which company is offering those salaries, right? And then you can share it with others in the WhatsApp group as well. Okay, so that's it for today's class. I hope you had an interesting time, or you learned something interesting today. Let me there are one of the easiest thing that you could also look at now, which companies that you're that are looking for job, is see if they have a lot of sponsored listings, right? If we do a simple thing over here, let's say if I say DF sponsored, if I do a value counts on this one, you see that there are about 23 sponsored listings. So that is not much of data actually. And we have about 1500 organic listings as well. So try out and try to see which companies are highest paying, which are lowest paying, and also see if which locations you see are most popping up. So just like we could do a group by company, you could do also a group by location over here, right? So if we do this, then you see that now Bengaluru, it seems like they have the highest number of jobs, then Pune, Mumbai, and so on. There need to be some data cleaning done over here, because there could be some things like maybe India is something left out, but most of things over here, it should give you a good sense of how data science and machine learning jobs are spread across India. Okay. So I hope you had a good time and you learned something interesting today. And this exercise is not just valuable in terms of learning, but also knowing what kind of jobs to apply for, where to go in future. Let me know if you have any feedback for me in terms of how it went. We had some technical issues with me being on a Mac and you being on a different computer, on a different environment. But I hope that was not a big challenge. Let me know if you have any other questions right now. Otherwise, I'll see you next Saturday. As I said, tomorrow we won't be having a class, but make sure that you go and complete your homework over here tomorrow. Yeah, Sudipto, it is on my list, as I said, but it is something that I haven't been able to replicate on my system. That's where I'm getting stuck because when I tried it, it was working fine for me. So let me see what's wrong with, is it just your script or is it just your environment over there? So not for your particular script, but when I was trying it, I was getting it. Yeah, go ahead about the MWEs. Were you able to find those things? Okay. And what did the paper suggest? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there it is an open-ended problem, so no one has completely solved it. But even using simple approaches, you can come up with a reasonable amount of words that are clubbed together. So let me give you one approach that a lot of people use. So let's say we have a set of documents, and in that set of documents, you what you do is then you count the probability of times that they occur next to each other or they occur individually. And if you see that no beyond a certain threshold, if this word is always occurring with the other word more than 70% of times, then you know that this is an MWE and is this I should treat it as a single word and not a different word in that context. Okay, so that you don't need to be a rocket scientist to do that. You don't even need to know a lot of different things to be able to come up with those probabilities of two words coming too close to each other every time versus they coming or no they occurring individually. So can you try out that approach? Yeah, yeah, definitely, and that's why it is more challenging than what I said. uh, MWE would could be something, as it says, no, it's multi-word expression, right? So it could be multiple words, more than one, two, three. I can't think of top of my head what could be a three-word expression. Yeah, it is definitely. You don't have, you have to do it in one scan of the document. You won't be able to come for that. Yeah, so tit for tat. So all the idioms and those kind of things will be one concept. So when you're doing any sort of topic modeling, those things become important. Yep. And the challenge over here is those MWEs are something that you can't obviously ignore because when you look through the text, the research shows that more than whenever someone writes an essay or those kind of things, more than 40% of words are MWEs. So it's not so easy to ignore them. The only thing is you could try to come up with a version that kind of works. Okay, great. Let me know. Yeah, thanks again. Yep, that's it for today's class. I'll see you next Saturday. Be sure to complete the module 2 test over here, and it shouldn't be that difficult. I just want to make sure that everyone until over here is on the same page. So once you complete the test, then if you're not able to do it, then it's a big red signal that, oh, you shouldn't be moving ahead in the class. All right, bye guys.